Good morning. Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom nama budaya. Peace be upon us all. The Honorable Vice Rector 1 for Academic and Student Affairs of Universitas Mahasaraswati Denpasar, Mr. Profesor Dr. Iwayan Gede Wiryawan SHMH. The Honorable Vice Rector 3 for Research, Innovation and Cooperation of Universitas Mahasaraswati Denpasar, Mr. Dr. Ikomang Budiarte SPD MHUM MPD. The Honorable Kuksi, Head of Office Cooperation and Internationalization UNMAS Denpasar. The Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Law UNMAS Denpasar, along with the distinguished faculty members. The Honorable Chairperson of RJI, the Honorable faculty members of the Faculty of Law UNMAS Denpasar, the Honorable member of the World-Class University, the Honorable our distinguished speakers from Indonesia and abroad, and all invited guests both offline and online. Good morning and welcome everyone to today's international conference held by the Faculty of Law UNMAS Denpasar on Monday, 21 April 2025 in Ganesha Hall and Zoom meeting. We are grateful to God for the opportunity to gather and share insights on the theme of sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, the agenda for today's events is as follows. First agenda, singing of the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya. We invite the designated official to lead. All attendees are requested to stand. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we proceed to the second agenda. Reciting a prayer according to your respective faiths. Prayer begins. Prayer concludes. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats. We will now proceed to the next agenda. opening remarks by the chairperson of RJI. We invite the chairperson of RJI to the stage.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Di Honorable Bapak Wakil Rektor bidang kemahasiswaan, mohon maaf Pak kalau salah, Bapak Dekan Fakultas Hukum atau yang mewakili Bapak Ibu dosen, mahasiswa, and the Honorable Prof. Sukhrob and Professor Bobur. Welcome again to Indonesia. On behalf of the RGI, I extend a warm welcome to all of you, both here at the Faculty of Law, University of Mahasaraswati Denpasar, and joining our virtual from around the globe. And today's event will be attending by our friend in Tajikistan and also from Kazakhstan. And for the second World-Class University International Conference on Sustainable Development. And today marks a significant milestone in our collective journey to address pressing global challenge. And we honor to gather leading minds, policymakers, together a practitioner to exchange ideas, share innovation, and strengthen partnership for a sustainable future. And also I would like to discuss in bahasa Indonesia. Kegiatan ini tentunya dilaksanakan dengan pertimbangan untuk kolaborasi yang lebih jauh antara perguruan tinggi yang ada di Indonesia dengan perguruan tinggi yang ada di Sentral Asia. Kami dari Relawan Jurnal Indonesia sudah melakukan kerjasama kepada lebih dari puluhan perguruan tinggi yang ada di Sentral Asia, dan kami sudah melakukan kunjungan lebih dari 6 kali ke kampus-kampus di negara tersebut. Jadi alangkah baiknya kita tindak lanjuti kegiatan-kegiatan tersebut, karena MOU itu sudah sering kita lakukan. Kolaborasi tidak hanya dilakukan kegiatan seperti ini, kami melakukan kegiatan secara daring juga, misalnya kuliah umum yang bisa bergantian, dosen yang ada di sini melakukan kuliah umum yang kepada mahasiswa yang ada di Uzbek, Kazakh, dan Tajikistan. Sharing ilmu pengetahuan ini tentunya akan menunjang kegiatan-kegiatan akademik di kampus kita, dan harapannya tentunya RJI bisa berkontribusi kepada kampus-kampus yang ada di Indonesia. Dan harapannya ini tidak hanya menjadi kegiatan yang simbolis, namun ada action-action. Kami juga menyiapkan sudah mungkin sekitar 15 jurnal yang kita buat. Itu jurnalnya gratis, Bapak Ibu bisa submit. Ini jurnal baru memang, tapi mungkin bisa dijadikan wadah bagi publikasi bagi mahasiswa Bapak Ibu. Jadi submitnya ke jurnal luar negeri ceritanya. bagi mahasiswa-mahasiswanya. Itu kita sudah siapkan. Jadi kembali ke Bapak Ibu yang prodinya mungkin sudah siap memiliki naskah dan kebetulan mungkin sudah ada semua bidang ilmu ya, termasuk pendidikan, bahasa, karena kalau yang bahasa saya yang menangani jurnalnya. Dan target kita tahun depan kita submit ke Scopus misalnya. Itu target-target kita. Jadi semua yang ngelola teman-teman RJI itu ada sekitar 15 jurnal yang ada di Sentral Asia. Mudah-mudahan dengan kolaborasi tersebut tentu kita bisa meningkatkan peringkat kampus dan ujungnya nanti kita sama-sama masuk ke lembaga-lembaga yang tentunya bisa menilai peringkat-peringkat perguruan tinggi secara internasional. Saya rasa itu saja dari saya. Terima kasih. Mohon maaf.
First Vice Rector at Widya Mahakam, Samarinda. We would like to discuss further later with the head of the RGI. And then second, I would like to address my outstanding gratitude also to the speakers today, Prof. Bobur and Prof. Sukhrob, who is attending this conference offline, and our colleagues from Tajikistan and Kazakhstan who is coming facing to our colleges and participants of these universities through online. And I would like also to address our colleges, Prof. Wiryawan, the first Vice Rector of Universitas Mahasaraswati Denpasar, and Prof. Lanang, the Dean of Faculty of Law of Unmas Denpasar. The Rector of Unmas Denpasar actually would like to send his very enthusiastic regarding this event today. He mentions that this is one of the important stepping stones for Unmas Denpasar. UNMAS Denpasar has started doing internationalizations since the early year of 2025. The map of internationalization in our university should be started by doing or carrying out international activities like one we will do today, international conference. So hopefully this international conference might bring fruitful feedback, not only for UNMAS Denpasar, but also for our colleges from Uzbekistan, from Tajikistan, from Kazakhstan. And we do hope that this international conference will share enlightenment from our speakers today about sustainable and related themes presented by our outstanding speaker from various countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the rector also mentioned that one of the important things of this international conference is actually to build connections, to build relations between UNMAS Denpasar in Indonesia and our other partners in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kazakhstan. We do hope that this will be an initial activities that can bring the universities from other part of the world to become partner with UNMAS Denpasar and conducting various activities to accelerate the internationalizations of the university. Finally, I would like to say that for the audience, please listen carefully to what will be presented by our outstanding speaker today, because this is not an everyday activity. This is a very rare opportunity for you to listen speakers from all over the world, from 4 countries actually, including Indonesia, who shares lots of knowledge that related to our theme today. I think that's all I can say for the opening of the international conference today. I do hope that the conference will share beneficial feedback for all participants, and you can have more insightful knowledge from our presenters today. Thank you very much. Om Santi 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 Om.
We now proceed to the next agenda. Giving applause from RJI to Universitas Mahasaraswati Denpasar, we kindly invite the chairperson of RJI and Vice Secretary to come forward. Now, giving applause from Faculty of Law UNMAS Denpasar, we kindly invite the Dean of Faculty and President to come forward. Giving applause from RJI to Mr. Sukhrob from Asia International University Uzbekistan. We kindly invite Mr. Sukhrob to come forward. The next agenda is group photo session. The next agenda is group photo session. We invite the Vice Rector 1, Vice Rector 3, Head of Kuksi, Dean of the Faculty of Law, Chairperson of RJI, members of WCU, and the guest speaker to come forward. Okay, group photo session will be conducted under my guidance in 1, 2, 3. Once again, 1, 2, 3. Freestyle once again, yeah. Yes. Once again, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3. For invited guests who have other interests, they can leave the room. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue with a series of keynote presentation. Each session will be moderated accordingly. We kindly invite the moderator and our speakers to take their place on the stage. Once again, we kindly invite the moderator and all our speakers to take their place on the stage. Thank you. And for invited guests who have other interests, they can leave the room. Thank you. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time to present today's activity. I know this is holiday for all of you, especially in this place, and it's very honorable for me and also Prof. Bobur and also Prof. Babaev for being here and presenting our thoughtful narrative about sustainable development. As the moderator today, it will be very flexible for me to have the events. Either we will have all the presentation first, all of them. There are 3 presentations in offline, also several in online. So the discussion will be have after the presentations. It's up to you. So what do you think, Prof. Bobur and Babaev? Do you have presenting 2 of you and then we will discuss? Or each of you and then discuss? What do you think is the best? Okay, so we will have 3 presentations today from Prof. Bobur, Prof. Babaev and Ibu Liz. And then after that we will have discussions. Okay, for the first presenter would be Prof. Babaev, and we've already have your files in. You can see the presentation from. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you can.
This one. Should I stay there or?
Okay, you can have it here. Yeah. Everything that you feel comfortable.
Okay, thank you. This is how it works. Can I have assistance? Can I put it here? Or yes, yes, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, okay. So, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. So, today I'm going to present a little bit about our vision. So, first of all, I want to thank my colleagues in Indonesia for hosting us here and we're having really good time enjoying it fully, and we really feeling like home. So thank you for organizing this event, for organizing this program, which I find really exciting, and I'm sure the result will be really, really fruitful. So today I want to talk about sustainable development in very interesting area that maybe one had never thought about. So my expertise is in heritage, cultural heritage. So what is cultural heritage? Cultural heritage is something that we think we belong to, something that identifies us as a nation, as a group of people, as a family, as a community. So cultural heritage, when you say cultural heritage, mostly what comes to your mind is something that you think you don't belong to or somewhere there. Museum, buildings, I don't know, any kind of cultural heritage. Tangible and intangible. But if you think that this world is rapidly changing now, and so what is gonna be with the heritage that we all think about, we care, but since the world is changing to digitalizing, and our youth are now changing, their opinion about this life is changing. So, just before starting this, I want to something came to my mind. One of the world leaders once was asked by a journalist, complaining about the youth and the generation that lives now and who is young, saying that, do you think we can trust this generation? Because you see, previous generation was different and the values for this generation are changing. Can we trust them? Our future? And the answer was simply clever, and the answer was, do we have any other option? We don't have any other option. So this young generation that is growing up now will be holding our values, our heritage in the future. So it is very important to bring them. If they don't go to heritage, let's bring heritage to them then. So in short, I just want to talk about this during this presentation. So this is youth and sustainable development in the context of cultural heritage. So next slide, please. Next one? Yes. Okay, thank you. So, young people are key drivers of sustainable development. Because who are we doing all this activity for? For these young people. Because they are going to live in this world, and their children are going to live in this world. So we are living better, we want to leave better world to our children, to next generation. So, since then, what is their activity? Their activities, the activity involvement in the preservation of cultural heritage ensures intergenerational dialogue, continuity of traditions, and the innovation of heritage practices. I think today the dialogue with generation of fathers and parents and generation of children now living a hard life now, because the young people have different values and their everyday life was changed by internet, by social entertainment, social media, and social networks such as Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, any. So mostly young generation lives in that area, in the social media. But we need to bring them the idea that the heritage, the idea of identity. Because globalization has really a lot of positive sides, but there is something that is missing which is not that positive, is self-identification. Young people from Indonesia, they always have to know that they are from Indonesia. because this is their culture, this is their values, because this is the message they have to express to their children. If they go deep into the social networks, then this identity is erased. So this is one of the threats. So where is that thin red line? Where is that balance which we need to keep all the time with giving information that reaches their mind? This is one of the hardest questions probably for all the people in the world. So next slide, please. Yeah, I want to just share with you the photo of my native town, which is Bukhara. You probably all know about Bukhara. Some of colleagues have visited our ancient cities. We were hosting them. There was great pleasure for us. This is one of the good views of Bukhara in sunset. And this is the central part. The minaret or the tower that you see belongs to 12th century. It has a long history. So I identify myself with Bukhara, so I'm Bukharian. So this is just to give you a beautiful view of Bukhara, since I love my city. So next slide, please. So what are the key challenges for young generation to understand the heritage that was left by their ancestors? So first is lack of awareness and access to heritage education. This is very important. In this global world, this is very important because information is number one message carrier now. It goes through different ways, but still information is important. Limited platforms for youth participation. This is one of the, also something that, one of the concerns of a modern community is that we talk about this, we show it, but there is no way direct accessing the cultural heritage for young generation. So the next one is cultural heritage often perceived as outdated or irrelevant. This is something that I was talking before. It's like, it sounds like this is something connected to my parents, to their grandparents. But self-identification stays far from identifying this heritage with modern generation. So next slide, please. So this is one more photo, archival photo of the same view. Do you see the previous photo, which is modern view, and this one were taken from the same point. This is Bukhara in the sad days, in the bad days, when it was bombed in 1920. So it was ruined completely. And again, Bukharian brought back all the heritage because they think this is important. It was during this, even the Soviet time, when self-identification was erased from the memory and from the minds of people. Next slide, please. So, digital engagement as a solution. Because as I said, if young people don't go to heritage, let's bring heritage to them. Why not? I mean, and youth engagement can be enhanced through digital storytelling and virtual heritage, social media campaigns and mobile application, which is the best and the fastest way to express and to bring the information into their mind. Online educational platforms and games. So, can you imagine yourself? I mean, this is a question that needs no answer because the answer is clear. For these young people that I see here today sitting, can you imagine yourself without a cell phone, without your mobile, without this today? No. You wake up in the morning, first what you do, before whatever you do, you look in this unit and see who wrote you during this night. And you plan according to this. You see and your mood is coming from this mobile. If someone writes you good things, you are happy all the day. If someone writes you bad things, then you are unhappy all the day. So this means that the communication goes to different way. It's not face-to-face communication anymore. It's more through here. Since it's through here, why don't we bring heritage here? Why don't we bring information about it? Make it interesting so people know, young people know, you wake up in the morning, you see it, and one small message comes that giving a short information. You don't have to know it by heart. But if it comes on regular basis, then you will get to know who you are. You will get to understand your parents, your grandparents, their concerns, their everyday talks, and their vision of the life. So that makes communication among the generations much, much easier, because you have what? Common values. The conflict with generation always comes because the values are different. Our parents, I mean, there is no exception for that. Even for me, even for everyone, I think. Our parents think that we are doing something not really correct. And actually, their parents thought that the same way. So now we're smart enough to make it easier, this communication through this. And what can be this binding point is heritage. Heritage and self-identification. Okay, next slide, please. So this is one more of modern view of Bukhara. This is taken from this quadricopter, or whatever you say, drone. Is one of the central parts of Bukhara with the beautiful water pond in the center, with two madrasas, as you can see in the center, and one khanaqah. This is, if you visit Bukhara, I'm sure you will love it. I mean, it is not a question, you will love it for sure. And you will be here walking and enjoying Bukhara in these hot days, in this shade of these trees. So next slide, please. So there are many always tries and initiatives that exist in the world, such as UNESCO World Heritage Volunteers Program. We were hosting one of the programs first time in Central Asia, in Bukhara, and it was successful. This also brings a good dialogue between intercultural dialogue, because youth from different countries come to learn more about history, about culture, through heritage again. So this makes the communication easier, this makes communication more productive. Another one is SciArc 3D heritage documentation, or Youth for Heritage movement in Southeast Asia, or Europe's Young Heritage Professional Forum. There are many platforms actually. These are one of the biggest probably. So something like this can also bring the communication between Uzbekistan youth and Indonesian youth. Why not? Because it's not my first time in Indonesia, and to be honest, I really like this. I even love the culture you have here. And this is true. So why don't we express this feeling to others and share it? Next slide, please. So what can be the recommendation? It has the long-term perspective and short-term. So one of them is establish heritage clubs in schools and universities, support youth-led documentation project, develop multilingual online platforms to share local heritage stories. Because storytelling is a really important part of any culture and any heritage. Organize heritage innovation hackathons and festivals. So next slide, please. Yeah. So here the idea of academic networking comes. So since academic networking is the best way, because the best educated, the most educated people of any country come together to share knowledge, and coming back to their community, they are those people who give the information, that information was heard by the local people. Me being here, I'm going back to Uzbekistan, to Bukhara, I'm saying, I like Indonesia, I like this. And people around me, my students as well, they say, oh really? I say, yes. And I show them the photo, I show them whatever I have, information. And this is how they know more about Indonesia, about the culture, because geographically Indonesia is really far, but we can make it. I mean, this is one of the examples. So this is very important. The noble, let's say, people, educated people share. They work on it. They share information, share whatever they're feeling to those people who are they surrounded with. So next slide, please. So what is the volume of networking? So as I said, this is actually the same thing. It brings, as an outcome of this communication, we can see economical growth in the sense of simple thing. Tourists come to Indonesia, they know not only common things like we are here in Bali, they know Bali, of course, they know sea, but there is a rich history and heritage of Indonesia that they don't know. Why? Because nobody was sharing with them. So this is our duty, to share the information we have and to give it in a proper way through the apps, to whatever. So that's why it's very important to create that platforms, digital platforms. Yeah. So, next slide. So what is conclusion? So conclusion is empowering using cultural heritage is vital for sustainable development. By providing tools, knowledge, and platforms, we can inspire a new generation of custodians to protect and revitalize cultural heritage across the globe. Moreover, supporting international academic cooperation and professional networking ensures a more resilient, informed, and interconnected future for cultural preservation. Because if we bring everyone under one umbrella, then it will be boring. This globalization is making so. But if we bring different people, they will try to know each other. This is how communication works. And of course it brings really brilliant results. We know all this through the Silk Road that we all know. It was not only trade, but it was mostly the exchanging of ideas and culture that now we have. So what I was actually, this is my request from all the participants here and the colleagues, friends. So share the information you have, learn more and share it, because only the part which was shared is yours. The rest stays wherever it was in the source. So thank you very much for your attention. And yes, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer at the end of our colleague's speech. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, for a discussion later on after our friends in online, because Mr. Aybek Imashev already ready for share his presentations. Hello, Mr. Aybek, sorry, how it pronounced? Yeah, Aybek Imashev, Mr. Aybek Imashev from Kazakhstan. Could you hear my voice clearly, sir?
Good morning, colleagues. Yes, I hear.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm glad to be here. It's 6 afternoon in Kazakhstan right now, and I'm still waking up. Allow me to present to you a report on the topic.
Okay, please wait.
Sustainable development.
On for the presentation.
I sent to Tanzil and Bobur, Mr. Bobur and Mr. Tanzil.
Okay. Yes. So we will have 10 minutes presentation for Mr. Aybek Imashev for Kazakhstan, and it is online. So as you know that we are in a very big auditorium right now, we have also offline audiences that will also listen to your presentation, Mr. Aybek. Sorry. I will share screen in Zoom. Oh, I think my staffs already share screen. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Um,
Okay, you can
good
start.
morning.
Yeah. You will have 10 minutes presentations.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Sustainable development of Kazakhstan's economy amid modern challenges.
Okay,
Sustainable
could you
development
please
has-
raise your voice or closer to the mic so we cannot hear your voice clearly, Mr.
Okay, okay. So now, right? You listen me? It's okay? Sustainable development of Kazakhstan's economy and modern challenges. Excuse me? Sustainable development of Kazakhstan's economy amid modern challenges. Sustainable development has emerged as a cornerstone of global policy and planning, emphasizing the importance of achieving economic growth that is environmental, sound, and social inclusive. For Kazakhstan, a country endowed with the vast natural resources and the strategic location as the head of Eurasia, the paradigm holds emergent scientific gain. While the nation has made notable strategies since gaining independence in 1991, it faces pressing challenges that could hinder the progress towards long-term sustainability. This paper delves into the multifaceted aspects of Kazakhstan's sustainable economy developments, examining the current state of the economy, the key challenges it faces, and the comprehensive strategy that have been or can be implemented to promote sustainable amid evolving global and domestic resources. Next slide, please. Kazakhstan boasts the largest and most diversified economy in Central Asia. It is characterized by the wealth of natural resources, including sustainable reserves of oil, natural gas, coal, uranium, and rare metals. These assets have underpinned the country's economic performance, allowing it to achieve consistent GDP growth and attract foreign direct investments. The oil and gas sector, in particular, remains the linchpin of the national economy, accounting for over 40% of government revenues and similar share of export. Since independence, Kazakhstan has pushed economic reforms aimed at transnational from a central planned economy to a market-oriented one. Privatization of state-owned enterprise, creation of a favorable investment climate, and the liberalization of trade policy have helped position the country as a regional economy leader. Yet the over-reliance on extractive industries presents vulnerability. Global commodity price evolution can disturb economic stability and strain public finance, reveal the critical need for economy diversification and sustainable focus policies. Next slide. Economic diversification. Kazakhstan economy has remained heavily dependent on the hydrocarbon sector, making it susceptible to fluctuation in global energy prices. Recognizing this, the government has initiated several programs to stimulate growth in non-extractive industry. The Kazakhstan 2050 strategy, the Nurlu infrastructure development programs, and the State Program of Industrial and Innovation Development aim to foster manufacturing, agriculture, and services. Nevertheless, the pace of diversification has been modest. Structural barriers limited access to financing for small and medium enterprise, and an underdevelopment private sector continued to impede progress. Environmental issues, industrial expansion, and intensive resource exploitation have severely impacted Kazakhstan's environment. The desiccation of the Aral Sea, pollution of the Caspian Sea, and the legacy of nuclear testing in Semipalatinsk exemplified for ecology damage inflicted or receded. Air quality in major cities like Almaty and Astana often exceeds safe limited due to emission from power plants, vehicles, and industrial facilities. Furthermore, Kazakhstan is vulnerable to the effects of climate change, which threat water available agriculture productions and the public health. Development comprehensive environment policies and adapting cleaner technologies and essential to revise these trends. Despite notable economic growth, scientific disparity between urban and rural population and among different regions. While cities benefit from better infrastructure, healthcare, and education service, rural communities of struggle with limited access to basic and employment opportunities. The Gini coefficient for income has remained relevation high, indicated presentation social stratification. Bridging this gap is essential for achieving inclusive growth and preventing social discontents. Next slide. Strategy for sustainable development. Kazakhstan has embraced the transition to a green economy as a national priority. The 2030 green economic concept outlined key objectives such as increasing the share of renewable energy in total energy consumption, improving energy effectiveness, and fostering sustainable agriculture. The country has a set ambitious targets to generate 50% of its electricity from alternative and renewable sources by 2050. Initiatives such as the introduce of feed-in traffics for renewable energy projects and investment in wind, solar, and hydroelectric power facilities demonstrate a commitment to reducing carbon emission and enhancing energy security. Economy, modernization, and digitalization. The Digital Kazakhstan programs is a flagship initiative aimed at transforming the economy through technological innovation. It focuses on 5 key areas: improving digital infrastructure, changing human capital, fostering digital government, supporting innovation ecosystems, and create a favorable environment for the digital economy. This transformation is accepted to both productive, reduce administration barriers, and integrate Kazakhstan more deeply into the global high digital economy. Human capital developments. Next slide. Developing human capital is fundamental to sustainable development. Kazakhstan has prioritized education and training to build a skilled workforce capable of meeting the demands of a modern economy. Education reforms have focused on updating curricular promotions and the expanding vocation training. The Bolashak International Scholarship Program has allowed thousands of Kazakh students to study abroad, bringing back valuable knowledge and experience. Additionally, healthcare improvement and crucial to ensuring a healthy and productive population. Investment in hospitals, private care, and health insurance system are steps toward changing social well-being. international cooperating and investments. Next slide. Kazakhstan activity engages with the international partners to advance its sustainable development goals. It is a signation to the Paris Agreement on climate change and participate in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals framework. Multicultural cooperation with institutions such as the World Bank of the Asian Development Bank and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development supports various infrastructure, energy, and social development projects. Foreign direct investments remains a vital source of capital, technology, and expertise. Kazakhstan has extensible special economic zones and improved investment legalization to attract global investors. Regional, international infinity such as the Eurasian Economic Union and participation in the Chinese Belt and the Road Initiative further enters the country's connective and development process. Next slide. Future outlooks and recommendation. Looking ahead, Kazakhstan's sustainable development will depend on its ability to adapt to changing global dynamic and domestic needs. The following recommendation can help guide the country toward a more resilient and inclusive economy models. Accelerating diversification by supporting SME and changing access to finance and encouraging innovation across all sectors. Intensive efforts to project for environment through structured regulation, investments in green technology, and public awareness campaigns. Address social inequality by investing in rural development, improving health access, and expanding social safety needs. Enhance institutional capacity and government through competitive civil service reform and great public participation. Deepen international cooperation to leverage global best practices, resources, sustainable finance, and strengthening regional integration. Next slide. Kazakhstan stands at a pivotal moment in the development journey. The pursuit of sustainable economic growth amid modern challenges demands strategic visions, coordination, actions, and the unwavering commitment. By priorities environment, sustainability, economy diversification, social inclusion, and institution reforms, Kazakhstan can pave the way for a prosperous future that benefits all citizens. The road ahead is a complex, but with the right policies and partnership, the country is well positioned to achieve its long-term development aspiration and become a model for sustainable progress in the region and beyond. Thank you. If you have questions, you can ask me.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Mr. Aibek. Maybe we will have a discussion after the third presenter presents. So the next presentation would be with Dr. Liz Julianti, SHMH from Unmas Denpasar. Silakan Ibu for your presentations. And I will share, I think, for the audience in Zooms, you can see the presentation from Zooms also.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and all fellows, and also our outstanding speaker that attending this international conference today. Today I will give my presentation that I make a title of Bali Tourism Spatial Planning Balancing investment and institutional sustainability through the lens of SDGs 16. And our focus today is in Bali. Why in Bali? Because Bali is an iconic tourism destination, and about the tourism spatial planning and how we can manage in spatial planning challenges through the principle of SDGs 60, because principle of SDGs 60 is contained about the peace and justice and the strong institution. And over the next 30 minutes, we will explore both of the opportunities and the threats posed by tourism investment and how spatial planning can become a powerful tool for sustainable, inclusive governance. Okay, let me start. Next slide. Okay. First of my presentation, why in Bali? Why we have to discuss about the tourism spatial planning in Bali? Because Bali is one of the biggest tourism industry, and it makes highest income for the Indonesian. And Bali is also living, for example, of the friction between rapid economic expansion and sustainable planning. And the island vibrant tourism sector is a bring economic opportunity, and beside of that, the threatens cultural heritage and local livelihoods and environmental balance. With major investment poured in, the question is who is benefiting and who is being left behind about the spatial planning in Bali. And between of that, it's crucial to maintain equilibrium between the industry and commercial expansion and preservation of existing resources, including natural resources, and then water, soil, and air. And considering, especially in Bali, the susceptibility to natural resources disaster is an island nation. So spatial planning law should be guide to the growth of residential industry and tourism sector away from high-risk area. Okay, next. Now, this is the overview of SDGs 60. As we know that SDGs 60, it's contained about the peace, about the justice, and about the strong institution. And we have to make an intersection of development, environment, and governance. So SDG 60, it make how we manage the spatial planning, access to justice, transparent institution, and reduce about the violence from the spatial planning, and how the regulate and reformulate the spatial planning so it can protection, it can be reduce the violence in spatial planning. Okay, next. Okay, this is the spatial challenge in Bali. Yeah, as we know, the regulation about the spatial planning in Indonesia exists, and we know that we have a job creation law that also arrange about the spatial planning, and we must confront the reality on the ground that popular coastal region like Kuta and like several area in Bali like Kuta, Canggu, and some of Seminyak, yeah, it's overdevelopment today. So official zoning maps are frequently ignored or updated of favor investor. So land ownership status in unclear, which leads to frequent dispute and inconsistent land use with spatial plan, and then also land conflict and unclear land tenure, and weak institutional enforcement, and the last one is limited community participant is the special challenges in Bali that happen today. So these problems are not isolated today, they reflect a breakdown in the government's fabric. Okay, next slide. Now we will see the case study. Yeah, we see that the development in Mandalika and versus south of Bali. Yeah, we consider two tourism regions, that south of Bali and Mandalika in Lombok. South of Bali is a cautionary tale the latest fires growth, and it facing severe environmental pressure and also rising inequality. And then in Mandalika, still in earlier development, state has taken a more structured approach through the ITDC with attempt at community engagement and spatial discipline. Although we have, although Indonesia has SPL 2007 and the job creation law in the 2023, there remain a widespread violation of spatial planning law. An example we can see in Bali, where the expansion of tourism accommodation disregard the existing spatial planning laws both in province and the district level. For example, we had 353 guest house in Klungkung that operating with at least 70% of the required permit lacking, and some have been built along the cliff on the shore, and similarly the Impiana Kedewatan Hotel River border structure violate the Gianyar district spatial plan, and then spatial planning law have also been inconsistently enforced, particularly in Bali. So as a result, the construction of hotel on the cliff and river proceed, and violating hotel finally began to operate. Next. Now, how SDGs 60 in action? We will discuss it about one by one. In the piece, what is that look like? First piece, we need zoning of the licensing system that prevent the conflict rather than provoke it. And the second is the justice. Everyone should have to equal access to land and the opportunity. And third is a strong institution. We need a government and agency that act fairly, involve the community, so we can preservation the local wisdom and free from undue influence. These elements are not theoretical, but they must be implemented as a part of sustainable tourism planning. So the next is, what is the missing? The missing is a participant of mechanism in the spatial planning. Next slide, please. And the two is the digital transparency in land licensing, example GIS and blockchain. And then the third is local institutional capacity, like the training, founding, and authority. To move forward, we must identify what the missing. The first, the meaningful participation community involvement must be institutionalized, not symbolized. The second, transparency. Technology like a GIS and blockchain can show zoning violation in real time, while the training for regional planning office and provide adequate the budget and ensure they have the authority to act independently. And then next slide, what is the strategic recommendation? The strategic recommendation is first, empower local and indigenous communities. And then two, modernize spatial governance tool to reformulate and reconstruction again about the low spatial planning. The third is faster multi-sector collaboration. And the last one is integrate SDGs 60 indication in tourism and land use policy. To build toward better spatial planning and institutional sustainability, I offer 4 strategic recommendations like that. And the last one is, in the Bali spatial planning, we know that the spatial planning in Bali nowadays is avoid the philosophy of human living in Bali, like Satkirti and Trihita Karana, that make harmony between the nature, people, and culture. The spatial planning, especially in tourism industry, is avoid the philosophy of that. So we have to preservation our local wisdom and our local community to make a sustainability or to make a sustainable development today. Okay, what the closing reflection or conclusion? Okay, next. About the conclusion, I have 3 recommendations about it. The first, in closing, let me emphasize that sustainability in a triangle: ecological balance and social justice and international governance. Tourism industry or tourism investment can be beneficial, but only when properly regulated by the law. The real issue isn't the presence of investors that poor their invest in Bali, but the absence of fair rules and effective enforcement. Let reposition spatial planning as a tool for the social harmony, a blueprint for inclusive, sustainable peace, and let treat the SDGs 60 not as a distant goal, but as a practical framework to shape the future of Bali. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you, and thank you for your attention and engagement.
Thank you, Ibu Liz, for the presentation. So we already have 3 presenters in a row. The first one's already presented by Prof. Babaev. I need to invite also the audience to ask the Q and answers, so we will have discussion. But I will, while I'm waiting for your questions, I will explain a little bit about our presenters today. The first is Prof. Sukhrob Babaev. He is a UNESCO international expert, and he also ICOMOS member or ICOMOS member, and his research is mainly in cultural heritage. And then He's also an academic and strategic development leader. As the academic background, he right now is in Institute of Archaeology, Academic of Sciences, right? And like we are discussed, and he already present, he mainly interested in youth organizations, like you present today. So I will invite question from here offline, and because this is an international hybrid conference, I also invite our audience in Zoom meetings. And for the second presenters, we have Mr. It's pretty hard for me to, yes, I need to read it in my notes, Mr. Bobur. It's okay. Yes, our second presenter is Mr. Aybek Imashev. Okay, and he had the PhD in economics since 2015. He is now an associate professor, and he mainly research, as he has experience as the manager directors in Astana, and now he is in Department of Management in Asil University. And he got several awards. It's a very long list. And letter of appreciation from the Asil University, also grants, achievements, and the number of publications that he has already more than 10. It's a very outstanding person to have in our conference today. And the last presenter is from our host, Ibu, let me read it. Okay, Ibu Lis Julianti, SHMH, Ibu dokter di depan ya Bu ya. Okay. And I don't need to explain about her. I think everyone's here already know. Even well known here than me myself, but I will present a little bit for our audience in Zoom. She graduated from Udayana University in business law for undergraduate, postgraduate, and the doctoral programs. And she also worked as a professional trainer. And I have a long list of places that she's already maintained the training sessions, I think. And the educational book that she published, she has 2 educational books, and the publication is also a very long list. Thank you, Bu Lis Julianti, for being here, presenting as the host, and as the representative of the host. And I think in Zoom we also don't have any question, then we can continue for the 4 presenters, right? Bobur, do you have any comment? No? Okay. 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 For the next presenter, we will have Mr. Said Qasim. Okay, I will invite Mr. Said Qasim Mukhtarov from Tajikistan. So for today's agenda, we have 4 countries actually. Indonesia, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan, right? Okay, so it's very fruitful conferences. Every one of you, I think, have many questions about this, but maybe you don't have that question today, and you want to contact us for the future collaboration. The information all will share in by the committee to you. It's open, so you can have the collaboration later on. Because actually, this kind of conference is not our goals. This is our milestones to have more collaboration in the future. So all of the presenters has already put their emails address in the files of the presentations. So you can contact them later. You might, yeah? Not only can, but you might. Okay, for the 4 presenters, we have Mr. Said Qasim Mukhtarov. Are you here with me in Zoom, Mr. Said Qasim?
Good morning everyone. Good morning, colleagues.
Okay, let us maintain our audio here. Okay, you will share your, okay, I can see your pictures there. You will share your presentation by your own, or you need us to present?
I better share my own.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you. Could you try to share? Okay. So I will also explain about Mr. Said Vitorov to everyone's here. He is from Tajikistan and now he works in National Erasmus Office. He also founder of Tajikistan Erasmus Alumni Associations. Okay, we can see your, could you please try to talk so we can hear the audio?
So can I start? Can you hear me well?
Okay, good. So you have about 10 minutes with your presentation, Mr. Said. Time is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Dear all, thank you so much for giving this opportunity to present about sustainable development goals in Tajikistan, and I will briefly tell about the journey towards achievement the sustainable development goals in Tajikistan. Mainly, I will be focusing about the progress achieved due to the support of the UN and its agencies and international partners. Briefly, if you will talk about the economic situation now during last decade, Tajikistan has a stable economic growth. In 2024, the economy expanded by 8.4%, which is surpassing the regional and global averages in the region. And in 2025, we are forecasted to grow the GDP by 7.4%. And mostly this growth supported by the domestic demand and in the surge of the export and developing the whole economy itself. Also, we have one of the lower inflation rates. The poverty reduction is significantly in the period of the independence. And if we will just see from the report, the SDG report, we are about to achieve only 30% of the targets to 2030, but we will see further all these details. If I will go back to the history from the Independence Day from 1991, when after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Tajikistan got its independence, and unfortunately, after this, Tajikistan experienced civil war, resulting in destroying the whole economy, destroyed infrastructure, displaced population, and which made any progress in living conditions, including made it impossible in achieving UN set Millennium Development Goals by that time. If we will see to some numbers, the extreme poverty, where 80% of the population were living below the poverty line, the education system were collapsed, the schools were destroyed, teachers fled, and there were almost no enrollment. There was so it was a harsh time for the whole country. Especially during the war, affected to the gender issues. The women were very restricted to their rights in education, in having a social, political, or any economical life in that time. The things like child mortality or maternal health, maternal mortality were very high during these times. And also the disease control during the pre-post-war and the pre-war and the post-war time were uncontrollable, and there were a lot of rising cases of HIV, mostly for the trafficking, and also uncontrolled malaria at that periods. And also due to the lack of rule of law, there was a big challenge to sustain environment things, such kind of a deforestation, soil degradation, poor water management. These kind of problems were raised. So, what are the achievements during the during the independence time and after the war? So the war continued 5 years, 92 to 97. However, the post-war period, Tajikistan tried to rebuild the economy, and what could be achieved during the Millennium Development Goals until 2015 is that the poverty rate were dropped significantly from 80% to 30%. We back to build the education system. So the primary school enrollment reached to 96%. The literacy rate in Tajikistan is close to 98%. We had some we have some progress in the gender equality during this time. So the girls enrolling to the schools and women participation in a social, economic, political life has been increased during all this time. The health improvements, the child mortality decreased by 50%, maternal mortality dropped, and other things like HIV awareness and the prevention of other diseases were under the control. And water environment is also access to the water has been profoundly developed to the whole country. So currently, Tajikistan developing according to the National Development Strategy 2030 for 50 years. From 2016 to 2030, it changed the previous national strategy adopted for 2000 and 2015, the 15 years. And the key goals in the National Development Strategy is to provide economic growth, mostly focusing in the rapid industrialization, to secure energy security, food security, to focus on a human development and social development, regional and international cooperation. And the sixth pillar is the environmental sustainability and the climate resilience. The National Development Strategy 2030 aligns with the UN SDG goals, positioning Tajikistan for long-term stability and prosperity. Currently, Tajikistan closely partnering with the UN and international partners. There are more than 24 resident and non-resident agencies of the UN and about 33 international partners who are supporting the achievements of SDG in Tajikistan. And I want to emphasize the cooperation framework signed between the United Nations and the government of Tajikistan in 2022 to support Tajikistan and to support the UN agencies in close cooperation in order to achieve national development strategy and the SDG goals set for the country. This document, this cooperation framework covers the four priorities are set. The first one is inclusive human development, sustainable, inclusive, and green economic growth, integrated climate and environmental risk management, and the fourth one is about the people-centered governance and rule of law. If we will see in 2023, in just the first year of this cooperation framework, about 723 local initiatives, local activities are taken by all the key partners, whether 51 of them, they are national level activities, national level interventions towards these priorities set by the cooperation framework. I will not just stop in the budget. Some of these results of these activities, for example, if we will talk about the education, now the UN and its partners supporting constantly supporting the education development. There are a lot of national level projects about boosting or promoting STEM education, supporting competency-based education in different levels, in the secondary level, in the vocational level, and also in the cooperation with the UNESCO and other partners. Tajikistan has developed a national roadmap of the digital education. Another achievements are in food security. So in a cooperation with the partners, there are a big support mostly to the rural areas. Talking of Tajikistan, the 10 million population of the country, whether 70% of this population living in a rural area. And at some points when we talk about the food security, we still didn't achieve like the food security goals set by the country and the UN. However, these partnerships supporting the vulnerable groups of people to have food security. The good things in the health sector, social protection, and also in the water, sanitation, and hygiene, these activities are supporting these areas significantly, and also the gender issues also. If we will see the SDG tracker from the 2022 report, Tajikistan has been positioned in the 89th place out of 166 with the score of 68. If we will see to the results, we are doing quite well in the significant progress in the goal number 16 about the building a peace, justice, and strong institutions, and the goal number 11 about building sustainable cities and communities. And also we are on track to goal number 1, to the fighting poverty, and the goal number 10, reducing inequalities. The challenging is still for us the SDGs number 9 about the building sustainable industries, about promoting infrastructure and innovations. This is a big challenging for us. Also the social protection, education, natural resources management, and these areas remain challenging and significantly. And most of the indicators, probably around 70% of those set indicators couldn't be achieved by 2030, set by both by National Development Strategy and the Sustainable Development Goals. I want briefly bring out the global initiatives supported by Tajikistan to achieve Sustainable Development Goals. We are considered to have a leading role in the SDG number 6, and in SDG number 6, water and sanitation. So there were plenty of global and regional initiatives supported by Tajikistan, including in water diplomacy, climate actions. For example, with the initiative of Tajikistan, the International Decade for Action Water for Sustainable Development, 2018 and 2028. Within the framework of this decade, in 2023, there was Tajikistan and the Netherlands co-hosted the United Nations Water Conference in New York, which was nearly in 50 years the first conference in such level about the water issues. The second one is a Dushanbe water process, which bring a lot of partners to bring out the key issues of water for sustainable development and for sustainable energy and for the green economy. Another initiatives is about the climate and the environment actions. In 2024, in the COP26 in Azerbaijan, Tajikistan raised the question of emergency of melting the glaciers in Tajikistan. Tajikistan has one of the potential, the glacier potential and the glacier capacity in Tajikistan, one of the highest in the world, but it's under the emergency situation because of very fast melting the glaciers. So with this initiative, UN General Assembly made a resolution to declare 2025 as the International Year of the Glacier Preservations. Also, another initiative supported by us is to providing security in region in the Central Asia. We have a lot of colleagues from the Central Asia. They probably know. Just recently, Tajikistan, my hometown, Khujan city, hosted Central Asian in the format of Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan. A very high-level declaration was signed between these three countries to build a peace in the region, which is named now Khujan Declaration. And there is a lot of efforts were put by the Tajikistan side to bring this peace in the region. So if we will talk about the capacities and the potential of the economy of Tajikistan, we have a huge potential to develop the green economy. If we will talk about the energy sector, 98% of the whole energy of Tajikistan now is produced from the renewable resources, mostly from the hydropower, and there are a lot of big projects, a lot of huge projects on the water, on the hydropower station buildings ongoing now. And in order to use all this potential of Tajikistan, we have adopted the green economy transition strategy for 2023-2037, and which will be this strategic document will be focusing on the transformation of the Tajikistan economy to more sustainable, to more greener economy. This will cover first of all mostly about the green energy. And if we will realize those the green energy projects, Tajikistan would become one of the leading countries in the region for energy, for the electricity export and energy efficiency also. Another things in the green economy strategy is about special focusing in the green industrialization, building sustainable agriculture. We are agriculture country. More than 25% of the GDP is coming from the agriculture, and that's why building sustainable agriculture is very important. We have already the shift to the green transport. The whole the public transport of the country is already switching to the electric vehicles. And also another policy, we have a lot of policies now to support the green constructions, energy efficiency buildings. Also, another things is about the waste management, conservation of the natural resources, access to the global green investments, and ecotourism, environmental awareness, and so green employment, and so on. Just talking about the potential of our country in the bringing investments so far, most of the investments that Tajikistan were attracting, they were not so environmentally friendly, I would say. And now, due to this strategy, there is a lot of policies to put some restrictions in the investments. Mostly, there are a huge investments were from countries like China, mostly in the mining sector. Because Tajikistan is 93% of the whole country is the mountains, and we have a lot of natural resources. Unfortunately, those measures are taken by the foreign investors to preserve the nature, the mountains or the beautiful lakes of Tajikistan, which attracts hundreds of thousands of the tourism for the ecotourism, now under the big danger. Right now, this is under the big challenge for the country to preserve the most beautiful natural scenes in the country. So that's why these policies will help to preserve country more. So this is just very basically about Tajikistan path towards achieving the sustainable development goals. In a conclusion, I would say that the national development strategy and SDG, the national development strategy, it's a bit ambitious strategy. We will barely achieve maybe 30% of the all goals set by this strategy. One of the main reason is, of course, the budget for this strategy. It was 118 billion, and most of this budget, 118 billion, would come from 40%. Around 40% comes from the state, and closely to 38% should come from the private sectors. Unfortunately, this collaboration, public-private cooperation set to the national development strategy is not working efficiently, probably. And in the last report, we've seen that even the half from the private sector, even the half budget forecasted to be spent on the achievements, on the goals to the national development strategy, are not allocated. So, and actually, the rest of the budget would be is planned as the grants, supports, aid from the international partners, which is mostly, I mean, effectively working now. But there are a lot of other challenges due to this bringing the budget for this. But it's another topic for the another presentation. So here I will just stop my presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Here is my email. I'll be happy to partner with our colleagues from the Indonesia and other people who are watching us online in the Zoom. So thank you so much. I stop here and feel free to reach out.
not using some digital inter. Next slide, please. You can see government policies from the statistics in Uzbekistan from 2019 to 2015 and 2025. Let's say during these 10 years, we introduced visa-free policy to 85 countries. So this government policy is now opening the doors of opportunities for Uzbekistan tourism to make a boom. So nowadays, so many people are coming to Uzbekistan without any kind of restriction. There is no visa. For example, when we enter to Indonesia, we always have to wait in a queue. We have to pay $35, and then we have to enter to your country. But in Uzbekistan case, nowadays there is visa-free for 85 countries, and it's helping us a lot to get more and more people, more and more tourists, and to make better connection with different people. And even we have direct flights from Indonesia to Uzbekistan, and we have been improving the number of tourists from Indonesia, and we are thinking now to improve more than 1 million from Indonesia and from Malaysia. Recently, our president, Shaukat Mirziyoyev, visited Malaysia, and we have a deal to make a second Umroh place in Uzbekistan, like a combi tour. So this is helping us a lot to get more opportunities to make our country better country according to tourism. Next slide. You can see tourism projects in Uzbekistan, and we are paying attention on different projects, like in ecotourism place in Yangi Obot. We are paying attention in Old City in Khiwa. We are organizing kind of guest houses in Surkhandari region to make better regions, better destination on tourism field. Next. You can see also community involvement, and people also join it on tourism. They are making, as I said, youth tour companies, guiding services. They're offering their home from Airbnb to get a tourist, and also they're making kind of a small business like a guest houses, boutique houses in Morocco style or in, let's say, Oriental style, in order to get more and more people. But in Bali or in Indonesia, mostly I see there are many hotel chains, and you're not paying attention so much for small business, let's say, enterprises. But in Uzbekistan, we are doing this kind of activity. Next. Investment and private sector. Next one. Green practices you can see. Next slide, please. In green practices, we are paying attention on sustainable development, as Mr. Said Qasim mentioned it already. We have been paying attention on SDGs, and by SDGs we are having some kind of green practices in Uzbekistan. And also our friend Mr. Aybek Emeshev also mentioned it, that in Kazakhstan they're using the same kind of tools. Next slide, please. International partnership. We are doing this activity with many countries, like mostly in neighbor countries. We are making kind of a one visa for many countries. Now this kind of opportunity is available in Kazakhstan, in Kyrgyzstan, in Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. When you visit these places, you can easily visit other neighbor countries without any kind of, let's say, difficulties. Examples could be many. My friends from RGI already visited 5 times Uzbekistan without any kind of difficulty, and during the one visit, they visited 3 countries. So it's very interesting to make a better partnership, and we hope to make more partnership during Silk Road region to expand our opportunities on tourism. Next. We have also some challenges, and these challenges could be overcome by the help of our administratives, and also we have to prepare our specialists on this field. We need to prepare our, let's say, future generation to understand current situation of tourism and to make better opportunities in the future for our, let's say, tourism development of Uzbekistan. So I have 3 more slides. Next one. we have policy recommendations for Uzbekistan and for other countries. For that one, we are getting some international experience, like from Singapore, from Malaysia, or from other neighbor countries, like Iran or other ones. We are making partnership with them. Also, next slide. We have future outlook of Uzbekistan, and soon there will be more than 15 million tourists, where we have around 40 million population. 15 million tourists means very huge number, but we have many resources to see in Uzbekistan, and in the future, tourism can be boom not just in Uzbekistan itself. Tourism can be boom for the Central Asian region, like in Kazakhstan, in Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, because we have much more resources. We have gastronomy, we have, let's say, good people, culture, we have, let's say, hospitality, and these all features can sum up, mix it, and as a synergy of these actions, we can have better future of tourism in this region. And in my conclusion, on my last slide, you can go in my conclusion part, that sustainable tourism offers economic resilience, cultural preservation, and green growth. So Uzbekistan and other, let's say, countries, neighbor countries, paying attention, and they are nowadays working to make better sustainable development to keep resources, because most of our resources, they have much more history, and we need to keep them in order to be listed in the one of the top visiting country of tourism. And also we need to improve the number of tourists from, let's say, international countries, from international market, and we have to pay attention to educate our specialists to be better educated and to keep the rate of development of tourism in this country. Thanks for your attention. That was my last slide, and if you have any question, you are welcome. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, and terima kasih for your presentation, Mr. Bobur. And this presentation will be our last presentation for this conference today. If you have any question, you can directly ask, or in Zoom, if you have any question, you can drop your question in our chat box. But if you want to have more discussions and more personal, you can have the conversation by your own to our presenters. The material will be shared later on. And in those material, it's already attached with their personal contact, the email especially, so you can have the collaboration sessions later on by your own directly to the presenters. And for the moderators today, I would like to say thank you for everyone that becomes our audience in here, in offline, in auditoriums, and also in online. And we have already all the presenters present their thought and opinion and also their research findings. It's very thoughtful and fruitful for our conferences today. We have 4 countries that collaborate and shared the ideas. And if we don't have any more further discussions, I will bring back this venue or these events to the MC.
The program will now proceed with the presentation of certificates to the guest speakers and the moderator. We kindly invite the guest speakers, the moderator to come forward. We also request the dean or representative to accompany this session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the second WCU International Conference in collaboration with the Faculty of Law University of Mahasaraswati Denpasar. On behalf of the organizing committee, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to the speakers, faculty members of the Faculty of Law Unmas Denpasar, the committee of RJI, all of members world-class university, and all attendees for making this event success. We apologize for any shortcomings during today's event. Let us close with Parama Santi, Om Santi 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 Om. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon us all. Shalom nama budaya. Greetings of virtue. Okay. Okay, once again, untuk bisa untuk sertifikat.
Kayak gini kan? Ini aku dari baju tidur. Itu apa nih, Bang?
Yeah.